He's the Executive Officer, Directorate for Police Community Relation. Our speaker's wing is the main primary advisor of the CPNP in the formulation of programs, plans, and activities in support of the community's welfare and development in partnership with the police. He was the former Deputy Regional Director for Administration of Police Regional Office 5, Bicol Region, and I'd like to call on stage Police Chief Superintendent Gil J. Hitosis.
Let me start first by reacting on the presentations made by these two or three groups. As we discussed with our colleagues here, they are one, or we are one in a position that when we saw the presentation made by the UN representative, our hearts bled. And kung pwede lang kami pa-assign sa lugar na yun at pagkahabulin namin yung mga perpetrators noon, no? I think we can have some volunteers doing that. The second, with respect to the National Action Plan presented, we feel that the scheme and the measures that was adopted were great. It's clearly thought of concept in approaching the violence against women problems in many parts of the world. Except that my attention also was drawn on the fact that some of the measures adopted did not, there was no mention about some socio-cultural factors. Dito kasi sa Pilipinas, no, we noticed that in the more populated areas where law enforcement is very much pronounced, the incidence of rape is very somewhat kukunti lang. Hindi masyadong alerting. Whereas in some conflict areas like Mindanao and doon sa mas malayo pa, heard a lot of cases involving rape in conflict areas. Isa sa mga, during our analysis, isa sa mga nakita namin dito is that pag ang systems of government is not working, no, it means that yung warlordism yung nag-prevail, no? Warlordism dahil din doon sa tinatawag natin instinct on private on self-preservation. Na tayo, so kung nandun tayo sa conflict area, we learn to be biased on what? On families or group that can protect us. In the case of Mindanao, mas matindi ang doon sa tinatawag na families, no? Na mas pinahalaga nila ngayon yung affiliation nila sa families kaysa doon sa role nila sa government. Example, yung police natin, police, prosecutors, judges, politicians, no? When enforcing particular law, na-involve ngayon yung tinatawag na member ng family na involved dun sa RIDO, no? RIDO. Sa atin dito sa Luzon, binggansa tawag din dun sa Mindanao, it's RIDO. Yung mga ka-RIDO, nalilimutan niya yung pagiging pulis niya. At kahit na kinakailangan niya i-enforce yung law, since yung tamang subject kung sa kuwan is kasama dun sa kariduhan, mas takot siya ngayon doon sa balik ng review sa kanya kaysa doon sa enforcement law. And that also happens with prosecutors. They refuse to prosecute crimes dahil nga doon sa tinatawag na conflict of interest. Mas takot sila ngayon sa families na kalaban nila, and families, sarili ng families na pababayaan sila. Ganon din ang nangyayari sa ano. So, practically, yung tinatawag natin justice system doon sa ano, sa lugar na yun, sa mga remote areas na yun, hindi nagpa-function. Kung pag hindi nagpa-function, they depend on families. Families na mag-aalay ng protection sa inyo. Isa yan sa mga ano, sa gusto kong, pinapoint out ko na issue na pwede siguro bigyan ng pansin kasi kahit na din sa ano, sa international setting, meron din ganyan problems. Okay. Now, siguro it might be of interest to you kung ano naman ang ginagawa ng PNP with respect to women. Very recently, we held a summit on women of policing in Palawan. Some of us thought it was a junket summit. It was pasyal. But nevertheless, although mukhang pasyal yun, pero marami kami natutunan doon. Kasi tuloy summit, pwede mo namang i-held dito. Hinuhulog nila doon sa Palawan. So, yun na rin yun. Pero marami kami natutunan doon. Isa sa mga issues na niraise nila is marami. The police women felt that they are parang left alone with performing duties, lalo na doon sa mga pagpapala ng rape cases or family-related cases. Ang sabi nila, most of the time, sila pa ang nagre-remedyo doon sa mga pangangailangan ng complainants like kapamban, yung pag-follow up sa ano, so mga kailangan ng transportation, tapos pupunta sila doon sa sa malayong lugar, hindi man lang daw sa mamahan ng mga police officers na assigned para proteksyonan hindi lang yung complainant, kundi also yung mga kababaihan natin police. Second is that they felt na hindi sila nasusuportahan in terms of office needs, no? And also, wala silang matatawag na quarters. So they are forced to rent a room outside the camp. It's in some camp. I admit that it is true. In fact, when I was provincial director in yung isang quarters ng officer ko, pwede sa kong bakantihin at inampon ko doon lahat sa quarters ko. At three of them, para may mapaglagyan ako doon sa mga police women ko na nakikita ko yung sweldo nila napupunta na lang doon sa rent at pagkain. Maybe yung ibang provincial directors natin are not aware of that, pero mostly, isa rin yan sa mga iniwasan ng mga police women natin ma-assign doon sa mga stations because of really kulang yung support sa kanila. No? Kulang yung support sa transport, housing, saka yung babae kasi has some special needs. No? That is why also the PNP allocated a higher RCA. No? 1,000 plus atang lamang yun sa amin. No? Sabi ko, para saan yun? Sir, para sa bra yun. Sabi ko, mura lang naman ang bra. Sir, kahit kami police, trial ang binibili namin. And marami pang iba. I think most men knows what are those peculiar needs ng mga police women natin. Since the start of my career, ang orientation ko is intelligence. Halos ngayon lang ako napunta dito sa PCR. So noon, hindi ko nakikita yung usefulness ng mga police women. Pero nandito na ako sa PCR and I'm managing one of the division intended for gender development. Doon ko na-realize na marami pala, no? There are so many roles that police women can assume, especially in gender-sensitive issues, police work, kahit nasa labas. So, although ganun ang panahon noon, let me inform everybody also that the PNP is slowly addressing those problems, if we can call them problems. No? Una, yun nga ang pag-hold ng summit. There were already 6 summits held in the past, I think, 10 years. No? Then, in the past 10 years also, from 3% sa recruitment, ngayon, maabot na kami sa 8%. No? Ang reason niya hindi ma-increase yan is that yung situation kasi natin ngayon calls for a more tinatawag na men-oriented type of policy na mas marami tayong combat sa ngayon, combat situations, mas kailangan natin lalaki, kaya mas maraming nire-recruit na lalaki. Siguro pag na-normalize yung situation natin sa field, then we can start increasing the recruitment of these women para sila na rin ang mag-assume ng various roles being assumed by men. Isa na dyan, ang nakikita kong is that yung sa mga desk, no? Sa ngayon maraming desk na rin na-activate intended for gender sensitivity concerns. About 2,900 desks already nationwide. Dapat sa municipalities out of sa ngayon average of 20, nakikita namin na we will be needing about 4 police women for every municipalities, no? To hold various positions there. Sa ngayon, ang tinitingnan namin na desk intended for one and some administrative work. Ngayon, hindi pa namin naisipan na i-include na rin ang police women doon sa patrolling kasi nga masyadong dangerous pa yung mga lugar. So, pagdating ng panahon siguro na ma-normalize natin yung situation, of course, with the help of the armed forces, lalo na kami, we are fighting to the last army man. Siguro ma-increase natin yung recruitment, mga more than 10%. Although I think the UN now is asking for 50-50, but we cannot afford that yet. Right now, the PNP is also considering deploying more police women in UN missions because the UN leadership sees the need and the yung usability, I mean yung appropriateness ng mga police women in handling problems, especially in conflict areas, mga conflict situations.